You know what, guys, I wanted to share some good fortune with you, and instead of trying to do like a video editing and stuff like that, I'm just gonna show you what I got relatively easily. uh, I'll just do this video and put some music on the back of it. But I wanted to show you that there is still deals out there to be had. As most of you would know, I pride myself on being able to get some good deals, whether it's a side front fender, left front fender, or an S-tune spoiler for a decent price. That cost me $25. The S-tune spoiler was, I think, 600, which now is peanuts compared to what they're selling for. But one thing I've noticed basically is that there's been lots and lots of Skyline parts that are just ridiculously expensive for no reason. I can't work it out. Like, there's no reason why people in the UK should be paying $1,000 Australian for a non-turbo R34 standard front bar. It's silly, ridiculous. But hey, if you are buying them, then so be it. These steering wheels here, the manual R34 steering wheels, ridiculous money. Like, seriously, you put a horn pad on there, or basically I see these being sold all the time as R34 GTR wheels because they've got silver stitching. Newsflash, guys, a steering wheel cover will get you the same kind of look for $40, and basically from there you have then, I guess, a $1,500 steering wheel without the actual GTR horn pad. Give me a break. So I guess I wanted to basically show you what my latest findings have been, and we'll start over here. This bad boy here cost $50. It does need some work, which is great for me because I've been learning lots about how to do plastic weld and stuff like that. Excuse me. This bumper bar here cost $50. He originally put it up online, Facebook Marketplace actually, for $150. And then after that, basically, I said, I was looking at it because I was like, well, you know, the way prices are going right now, that's stupid. So I should probably look into it. And I sent him a message, asked him if it was available. He said, yes, it was. I said, look, I'll think about it. I need a way of getting it home. I knew I could put it in my Skyline. I didn't really want to though. Anyway, he ended up dropping it down. I was at my in-laws one day, probably about a month ago. And he ended up dropping it down, and he wanted $100 for it. I messaged him, and this goes back to what I've always said. If you don't ask the question, you're never gonna know. So I went back to him and said, hey, right, I'll give you $50 if you wanna get rid of it today. If you want it out of your hair, I'll come past, I'll give you $50 and I'll take it away. And he said, yes. Now, keeping in mind, this is a non-turbo front bumper bar, but I had some ideas with it. I had some ideas until I found a few other things that I wanted to start working on that just turned out to be, I guess, a good time. I guess an impromptu, good time to buy something, right? Next, on my good luck run with parts, is a genuine Altia rear bar. This basically, look, it wasn't cheap. And when I say cheap, actually, you know what? It probably was cheap in comparison. This rear bar was $600. Now, the benefit of this is that this guy posted it. He's actually a legend. He's a really good guy. This guy posted it for, I think, $800, and then he dropped it down to $600. And that's when I saw it, when it had dropped down to $600. Look, it was just before Christmas. I messaged him and said, hey mate, I really want the bumper bar. I'm obviously busy over Christmas, so I wouldn't be able to grab it just yet. And basically from there, he was like, that's cool. So I said, look, can I transfer your deposit? And I did. I transferred him $200, and that was that. And then obviously a few days after Christmas had passed and everything like that, I basically transferred him the rest. And yeah, so that's honestly a massive win. A genuine reality bumper bar for $600. You can't, like, there's nothing to complain about. The third run of good luck I had was this boot here. GTT coupe boot, obviously, silver, not the same color as my car, but it's got factory spoiler holes, which is what I need, to be honest with you. Obviously the S-Tune wing or the GT wing, if you're not doing the factory holes, then it has a real issue. But look, it's complete with the rear brake light, the third brake light assembly right there, and all the wiring. And also, it's in relatively good condition. If you have a look up here, you'll see it's still quite shiny. There's a few scratches and marks, but it's not dented, which is a massive win. So, excuse me. So you guys have seen a boot lid before. That's it there. Honestly, that's a massive win, and I paid $100 for this boot, which if anyone who's ever had to replace a boot goes to a wreck or anything like that, it's ridiculous money. Yeah, especially ones in good condition. But I guess this will bring us to our final win. Our final win of, I guess, this series, and that is this bumper bar. Now, this looks like absolute trash. And I know looks can be deceiving. And you're probably thinking, well, big deal, you bought a fiberglass out to your front bumper bar. And I'll say to you, yep, on first appearances, it looks like a fiberglass out to your front bumper bar. It's not, it's plastic. And the gentleman that had this, I suppose I'll go into a bit of detail. It was listed on Gumtree in Queensland for about 3-4 weeks, and no one was buying it. And I can understand why they were not buying it. They weren't buying it because it's a fiberglass front bumper bar. Even the cracks in it at the moment scream fiberglass. And I actually, for a time, I'll be honest with you guys, I started second guessing myself, because I thought I knew what I was talking about. And I kind of, look, anyway, I just started second guessing myself. So those of you who have seen these, I guess, a good quality RT bumper bar, listed in Gumtree, Facebook, wherever, will know that they cost anywhere from $1,000 up to $2,000, depending on how high the guys when they decide to list it. But look, that being the case, that doesn't mean it's worth $2,000 to someone else. But to me, to have one of these back again is great. I'm not saying I'm going to put it on the car because I got one in my kit. But let's talk about why this bumper bar didn't sell. He had it listed for $300. Now, I know what you're saying, $300 for a genuine front bumper bar, even though it's damaged, is a pretty good deal. And I agree, 100%, it's a good deal. But the problem was everyone thought it was fiberglass. Now, I'll read you what the ad said. The ad said this: Altia front bar, Altia R34 front bar, right? It didn't have anything in there about genuine. It didn't have anything about plastic. It didn't have anything in there whatsoever that would make anyone think it was plastic, because on the face value of it, it looks like it's fiberglass. Now, when you open up the ad, it said R34 LT front bumper bar damaged. And I'll quote this, I'm quoting this verbatim right now: worth heaps, in good condition. That's it. That's the nuts and bolts of it. That's all he had in there. Now, anyone who's reading that would assume that it's fiberglass, because you can buy a fiberglass one of these for like $470, but it's brand new and not damaged. Whereas this one is heavily damaged, and he wanted $300 for it. The only saving grace was that it had the mesh for the top part there, and it had the red S badge, which, if I'm honest, what's about to happen next is what I knew was going to happen. So I contacted him, and I'm looking at the bumper and I'm like, well, what would tell me that this was plastic? And it's pretty, honestly, it's a pretty simple thing, but when you factor in a lot of other things, it makes perfect sense. So the front lip here on the Altias, right? I don't know how you can see that, but it's that black plastic, right? Oh, jeez. Focus. Anyway, it's that black plastic. And And even from the inside, that looks like it's fiberglass. But there was something I saw and I was like, I know what I'm looking at here. So anyway, this part here, this black part here, genuinely speaking, okay, I've never seen anyone have a fake Altia front bumper bar, or I shouldn't call them fake, a fiberglass reproduction Altia front bumper bar. I've never seen someone have one where they've gone out of their way to paint that bottom part black. It's not to say it hasn't happened, I'm just saying I've never personally seen one. So generally speaking, they get painted the same color as the car. So that was my first clue of maybe it's not, maybe it is, maybe whatever. Okay, so anyway, I messaged the guy and I said, hey, listen, I'm interested in the bumper bar. And look, to be fair, even if it was fiberglass, I was going to try and get him down to like $150, just so I could obviously have something to work on, because I really like the front bumper bar. Anyway, he goes, yeah, only problem is, mate, he goes, someone came and bought that red badge and the front mesh, which isn't a big deal because I can make that and I've already got a red badge anyway, so it's not a massive issue for me. So basically he goes, give me $150 for it and it's yours. And I was like, surely not. This is too good to be true. But I'll tell you what gave it away to me that this was actually plastic. You see up here, where and the best way of describing it is house paint. This is house paint. I'm pretty sure it is. It's not plastic dip. I don't think it is. I don't think it is anyway, but this kind of stuff here, right? It virtually looks like what house paint looks like when you've left it out and basically it dries up and you can peel it like paper. So underneath all this fiberglass looking white, right, is a healthy bumper bar, or a healthy black bumper bar. I don't know about healthy actually, because there's a lot of damage with this. Now, what I'm getting at here is basically you need to ask the question, because as soon as I saw that part there, as soon as I saw this part here, my next question was, is this plastic or fiberglass? He goes, plastic. I said, right. And I said, what are your bank details? I'll transfer you right now. And I did. I transferred him right there and then on the spot within about 30 seconds. Done and dusted. I hadn't even organized freight yet because I couldn't, because how could I? So I paid him, and by some way or another, I was going to get the bumper bar down here to South Australia. Anyway, fast forward. There's loads of damage. I've already fixed some of it up. So you can see here, this is going to require lots of work. But honestly, I don't think it's nothing I can't handle or someone else can't handle. Hopefully just me. I've got this new tool called a hot stapler, and that basically makes it so I can fuse bits of metal together, fuse bits of plastic together. I've ordered a couple of other things that are going to help me do some plastic welding as well. I started tinkering with this bumper bar here, and I've already fixed up a fair few things on it that were bugging me. So I've started having a bit of a play around with that. This bumper bar here, there's nothing wrong with it. It's all good. It's honestly just fine. This one here is a mess, but it's an exciting mess because we now have a genuine front Altia bumper bar. Yeah, you know what? It even comes with 2 bits of mesh. Great, fantastic. But it's genuine and it's plastic. And once we fix it and make it structurally sound again, it's going to be perfect. And I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight because it'll be a long process, but even the tabs, for example, there's only one broken tab on this. Sorry, I lie. There's 2 broken tabs, right? You've got one here, which is a common place they go. That one's still intact, you can see there. These ones are intact, and it's just that one there. That's it. So $150 got me this plastic Altia front bumper bar. Those are deals that you won't get. But what I'm saying to you guys is, I was probably the only person that messaged him and said, hey, is this plastic or fiberglass? Because I visually can't picture anyone saying no to a plastic front bumper bar for even $300. Even if this was $300, I still would have bought it. every day of the week. Now, to get it down here to South Australia, I used a company called Transdirect, and it cost me $210, I reckon, or $212. So in total, I spent $362 to get this bumper bar for a genuine plastic Altea front bumper bar. Now, factor in that 312 plus 600, right? That's a front and rear Altea for under $1,000. Does that not blow your mind? Anyway, I wanted to show you guys some good fortune I've had lately, which is great. And I want to let you guys know there's going to be more and more videos coming out. I'm working on them at the moment. I just started a new job. It's not the first time you guys have heard that, obviously. But I've decided to take a step back from, I guess, the cutthroat corporate world. Honestly, I've spent the last 15 years in it. Ever since I was like literally 20 years old, 21 years old. And I've worked my butt off, and I've gotten to really high senior positions, and I've made a decent living. And I was that person that would fly out on a plane at 6 a.m. in the morning in a three-piece suit and go and have long business lunches and live that lifestyle for a while. And you know what? It was cool for a minute, just a minute. But to be honest with you guys, and I can't stress this enough, health is absolutely the number one priority in your life and should be forever. Your health and your family, because in honesty, it's not something you can play with. So it's one of those things where you need to look after yourself and put your mental state and your physical state first. I think it's one of these things where you honestly have to live through it in order to do it. Because if I say to a fair majority, and I was the same when people said, look, I'll do any job if the money's right. And I used to be that person. You want me to do a crappy job and be exhausted all the time and honestly make good money but be exhausted all the time and put myself last? Cool, I'll do it, no problems, right? I was the first one to throw my body on the line. But it's unsustainable and it ends up biting you in the ass very quickly. I lived a very stressful life, a very fast-paced and stressful life, and one morning I woke up and I couldn't feel a majority of my body. I was at the top of my game, working in finance and insurance, in human resources capacity, growing a national company, flying to Sydney and Melbourne every second day. My wife, Lisa, she was pregnant with our firstborn daughter, and life was good, man. Like on paper, it was good. I was driving my Skyline. I had my MR2 in the garage. We had money. I had the lifestyle. I was wearing suits. I was rubbing shoulders with people in authoritarian positions and owners of companies that are worth millions. And then one morning it came crashing down. And I suppose after that time, I spent a few years trying to get that back, that fighting spirit where I just would throw myself at whatever target was available, and it didn't work. And I suffered for it greatly. So I'm now working, it is still in the corporate sector, but it is far less stressful. And I'm now no longer a manager or a general manager or any kind of senior position within a company. And that's the way I like it at the moment, guys, to be honest with you. I need to come first. And as much as that may affect my bank balance, what's your bank balance when you're not able to walk, speak, or even move around, when you're not able to run around with your kids? It's or drive your cars or work on your cars because you are so badly, I guess, damaged from years of abuse. And I'm not talking about substance or anything like that. I'm talking about just literal, you don't care about yourself because making money and being the top of your game is your number one priority. And there are people out there that do that. You see them all the time on Facebook and things like that. Those promotional speakers and say, suck it up and just get over and done with and just power through. You can't forever, guys. Some people can maybe, but that's not me. So I guess that's all I really want to say. I wanted to share some good fortune with you guys and just show you that the deals are still out there. You just got to look for them. The deals are definitely still out there. You just need to find them. And when you do, great, but ask the question. If something doesn't sit right with you or you're having a second thought, ask the question. Big deal. Even if it says genuine plastic out here from bumper on there and you go, hey, is this plastic? Don't feel like an idiot. Just ask the question. Big deal. You don't know the guy. And even if you did, people are, look, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but sometimes people are decent, you know? I didn't have to get this bumper bar here. The guy didn't need to wrap it up in a bag for me and put a label on it that I sent him. He didn't need to do that for me, but he did. This guy here, he didn't need to hold the bumper bar for me. He could have accepted another offer, but he did. This guy here, he didn't have to accept the $50. I wouldn't have, to be honest with you. But he obviously wanted it out of his house and away, and he just didn't want, like, he was done. You know what I mean? And you need to capitalize on stuff like that. And that was just a lucky find. So I guess what I'm trying to say, guys, is honestly, just ask the question. And you know what? Don't work too hard. Enjoy yourself.